name is Patricia Camilla Rose. I am a licensed pharmacist. I also have a Master's Science degree in Pharmaceutical Sciences and a PhD in Pharmacology. I am an Associate Professor of Medical Education at the Kiran C. Patel College of Allopathic Medicine, also known as NSU-MD, in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm a medical educator and a lifelong learner. My goal is to teach students how to become active lifelong learners like myself. I facilitate a form of case-based learning. I enjoy flipping the classroom, particularly with team-based learning, also known as TBL, and using interactive didactic sessions with clinical applications at NSUMD. I also teach pharmacology in a master's program, the MBS program, to various colleges in our health professions, also known as HPD. I was born in Bedford-Stuyvesant in Brooklyn, New York. My parents are from Jamaica, the West Indies, and I come from a really large family. I do remember spending part of my childhood in Birmingham, England, before we moved to Crown House section of Brooklyn. At the time I started elementary school. I could say that's where I was raised, forming long-lasting friendships that I still have to this very day. I am the mother of 5 children. I have 1 daughter and 4 sons, and I also have a beautiful grandson as well. To me, nothing is more important in life than my family. In terms of my educational path, I remember going to public school and changing schools when we moved to Crown Heights from around the 4th grade to the 6th grade. I really excelled in school, although the environment was really challenging. My parents, they worked really hard and made a decision and a sacrifice for me to transfer me out of public school system to Catholic school. And that was around the beginning of the 6th grade, and they did that so that I can get a better education with less distractions. So I attended Catholic grade school, high school, and college, all Catholic. In terms of my educational path, some more thoughts. I had 3 excellent mentors starting in high school, college, and then in graduate school. I think that mentors are extremely important in helping you decipher what's really important to you and how to best accomplish those goals. My first mentor was my homeroom teacher at my high school. He was a science teacher and he was also a pharmacist. He instilled in me that good study habits and hard work pays off, and this mindset enabled me to always aim high and do my best no matter what. So I graduated from high school with a New York State Regents diploma with a science sequence, and after that I attended St. John's University and I majored in pharmacy, just like my high school teacher. So pharmacy school was a lot of work. I commuted to college every day, taking 3 trains and a bus, or sometimes, rather, instead of the bus, I'd walk because I didn't have money to take the bus. I used my time on the train to study since my rail commute was about an hour and a half. At the time, pharmacy school curriculum was integrated with the pre-med program for the basic sciences before we started our professional classes. In addition, we had to take a state board examination that included a section on compounding, making the New York State one of the hardest states to obtain your license in. I excelled in pharmacy school and I graduated top of my class. I got my license in New York State and I eventually also got my pharmacy license in Florida. So although I enjoyed working as a pharmacist, as a clinical pharmacist, I also did retail and home infusion. But, you know, after years of doing that, I really missed school and eventually went back to St. John's to do my master's degree in pharmaceutical sciences. And I did this with a thesis research project. So it was at St. John's University as an undergraduate while I was in the pharmacy school that I met my second mentor, probably one of the most brilliant people that I know. His exams were extremely challenging based on concepts, and I worked really hard to do well in his class. He was actually my PI, which is my principal investigator, when I did decide to go into my master's degree, and I did my research in his laboratory, and I'm still in touch with him this very day. So I should mention that during all this time, well, I guess right after between my bachelor's and my master's degree, I settled down, I got married, had kids. During that time, you know, like I said, I finished my degree in the master's program. But still, I really miss school. So, you know, and let me also tell you that there was a time when I finished my bachelor's degree that I seriously considered going to medical school. So I actually took the MCAT and I did well. However, I saw a couple of autopsies and surgical procedures at Bellevue Hospital in New York City, and I realized that I couldn't take the sight of blood. And to this very day, I still can't. So I decided to focus on other areas of study, and so that's when I really thought about becoming a college professor. Because of my passion for the biological, chemical, and physical sciences, I used to find the time to study late at night. Like I'd study biochem and physiology after the kids went to sleep. That's when I really started considering doing my PhD. I heard about the University of Vermont in Burlington and that they had an excellent graduate program in medical school. So I decided to take continuing education course in cellular and molecular pharmacology. And I was really excited and fired up about the course. The faculty was absolutely awesome. So I decided to prepare for graduate school by taking the GRE. And I was actually accepted. I got accepted. I was elated that I was accepted at the UVM, University of Vermont's College of Medicine, Department of Pharmacology. And this is where I joined the lab of my third mentor, who was also my principal investigator. So throughout my basic science experience, I've always kept up my clinical skills as a pharmacist. So although I'm a basic scientist with my PhD, doing research and publishing, I was also still a clinical person. And again, I was experienced in hospital pharmacy, which was clinical. I did home infusion, and I also did oncology at an oncology center, cancer center. So right now, I guess I'd say like my typical workday starts out with me checking my Outlook calendar to see if I have any Zoom meetings coming up. Actually, that's like my email, the Outlook calendar. Also see if I had any faculty development seminars. And if I'm actually teaching, I'll always make sure that I'm prepared for lecture, review the material, before class starts. So right at the moment, I'm now preparing for an upcoming course in which I will facilitate a small group in case-based learning and organize learning sessions for students. And I'm also thinking about doing scholarly activities to engage the students in. In terms of my daily work, what do I need in order to get through, as a college professor? What do you need to do? You need to be proficient, most likely in like the Microsoft Office software at work and other user softwares that you may have to learn to use. That's as a professor. But as a pharmacist, was pretty skilled in a number of computer systems and equipment for the delivery of medication. As a pharmacist, I actually became a level 3 pharmacist, meaning I function at a really high level in critical care, neonatal and pediatric units, sterile compounding, and as I mentioned, at the oncology center. So I was able to rotate anywhere, anytime, wherever they needed me. In terms of my teaching now, what makes my job most rewarding is facilitating the learning process to students in a way that will benefit them now and in the future. To hope that they walk away from the class knowing concepts on why things work the way they do. And by learning in this way, no matter where they are, they're able to think back and think things through. I got this opportunity with a handful of teachers and professors, in other words, mentors, who got me to this point where I am, and they really made a difference in my life. Students feel the way I teach them and my mechanism or process of teaching them, that I really do care about them and I care about their learning. So outside of work, what do I like to do? I spend a lot of time with my family on chat, FaceTiming, with my friends. I enjoy my pets. I have two little dogs that I got over the pandemic. They keep me really busy and they keep me on my toes. I like to listen to music, all kinds of music, and watch comedy and videos on YouTube. I also follow tennis, and I follow YouTube as well in terms of watching, movies. You can see movies on there as well, and I watch movies on Netflix. So what advice would I give to students who may consider a career in the medical or science field? Be sure to do your homework. Research the field. In terms of jobs, is the job, like, how's the field right now? Does it seem saturated? Will it be, will it be saturated by the time you finish your courses and you graduate? What is the cost of college versus the debt, and what is the debt compared to the salary that you'll be receiving? You want to look at all of those things. And last but not least is, it has to be something that you're really passionate about, so it doesn't really feel like you're going to work every day, because you're going to have to do it for a really long time. Finally, you want to try to seek advice from, if you're in high school, maybe your guidance counselor, or reach out to someone who you feel is like a mentor to you, who will be truthful and transparent about everything. Also, you may know someone ahead of you, in the program that you want to go into, who can advise you. Always make a well-informed decision, since you are making a huge commitment. And it's time-consuming, and it costs a lot of money. So you really want to do all of your homework, be very thorough. There's so many scholarships and grants out there available to you to go to school. Look, a lot of private companies offer them, pharmacies and organizations like the TLJMS to provide mentorship. Be persistent, think positive, work hard, and persevere.